Little Black Book. You know what time it is. 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 Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Told you guys about Nicole Beharie. She was on Sleepy Hollow some time back. And actually, there's some unfortunate events that happened. I shouldn't say unfortunate. There were some events where they intentionally racially discriminated against her so she would leave the set, okay, and treat her differently to her white counterpart and co-host. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that as well going forward. If you do me yourself a favor, if you're new to the channel, do me the greatest favor. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the what? Uploads. And for those of you returnees, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. So you got the minerals. Alright, listen, boom ting. Let's get into the video. Hey, don't forget to make sure you grab something from the shop, innit. Go and grab yourself a minerals thing, yeah. Click on the you know, also on shade.com as well. Get yourself a nice little hat. Use my little Blackbook91 as a code to get 10% off as well. Alright, cool. So talking about Nicole Beharie, she was on Sleepy Hollow some years back, you may have remembered. I didn't actually watch the show, so I'm not going to pretend as if I did.
Officer down!
The killer you saw.
But when I read the news article at the New York Post, and they were speaking about the fact that she was on that show, and quite a very, very big hit on that show. I mean, many fans were disappointed and hurt by the fact that when she got killed off, if you want to say, in the show, right? What had happened actually at the time was, which she never spoke about at the time because she felt like she didn't want to speak at that time, was that, you know, she was sick with the same illness her co-host was also sick with. Now, her co-host was a white male, and they both were sick. And she was off for at least 2 weeks at least, and he was off for at least a month, and they allowed him to go all the way to UK again, right? Now, as she got sick, she decided to be a trooper and, you know, continue almost to film her last scene because they were going to film one of her scenes or whatever from episode 9, I believe. But he didn't have to do that. He was all the way in UK recovering, right? So already we got a problem. And then she obviously continues to do it, and then she gets even more sicker, and doctors have to come in and say, look, she cannot work, she's just not able to do this, like, it's not safe, right? And I think her sickness even developed again. There was a second development that happened from the sickness that made it even worse for her, to the point where she even had, I think, thyroid problems where she couldn't even really speak properly. So, you know, she really was going through it as a black woman. But remember, they don't see black women as having pain. They don't think black women go through pain, right? They see black women as this invincible women. Black men do it too when they cheat on their women, and they cheat on them. They you know, leave the kids with them. You know, they abuse them. We do the exact same thing. We just don't say it. We just act it out, right? Thinking that black women are immune and superhuman to abuse, right? So she's gone through the situation, and actually what happens is she gets let go, or coming to the end, there's no renewal contract, whatever you want to call it. When she decides to go for other jobs, they say, oh, we would, but we heard you're difficult. Now there's a label that's been attached to her that she's difficult. Bear in mind, she was sick, and now there's a label that's been attached to her that she's difficult. Look at the change. She was sick, couldn't complete her scene. Doctors were vying for her, saying that she can't do the scenes, but they didn't want to take it as that. They labeled her as difficult. Right? And so she said obviously that she was never late, she was always professional. So where did they get this idea from? The idea is the fact that, listen, again, we let you have a bit of a taste. How dare you let us down? How dare you not do what we tell you to do? How dare you be sick? Yeah? If you know the history of what's his name? Something Simmons or whatever, Jerome Simmons or Jay Simmons or whatever, yeah? He was operating on black women without anesthesia. He was doing I think it was vascular or whatever, basically to do with the where children come out from, right? He was doing a lot of, because a lot of times the thing could become difficult or protracted, or it could become complex, right? And the women will be in pain, and so he would then be doing experiments on them to how to fix it. One woman went through 40 operations or so, yeah, without anesthesia. But guess why? Because he thought that black women were invincible and they couldn't feel pain, right? This brutish thought. Okay, so now this woman, Nicole Beharie, obviously has been let go. Obviously, she's starting to find her feet once more again. She's now starring in Miss Juneteenth, which is a small African American family drama. But I actually did some research on Juneteenth because I didn't really know what it was. And Juneteenth.
Welcome to the Miss Juneteenth pageant.
was the emancipation of slaves. Okay, this is under Abraham Lincoln in 1863, I believe, where slaves were now going to be let free. Now, if you know the history, they weren't actually let free, all of them, in 1863. No, because they being under slavery, it's just like being in Egypt with Israel. Okay, I'm going to let them go, the Pharaoh said, and then kept on pursuing them. Yeah, I'm going to let them go. He did it 9 times. On the 10th time, he lost his child, and that was it. He pursued him again permanently. Right, and the same thing happens here. We are vying for our freedom, okay? And until 1865, where with the help of General Gordon Granger, who came down with a whole fleet and army to fight a resistance. Listen to the wording. He came down to fight a resistance at the time in order to help the 150,000 Texas slaves that had moved from I can't remember if it was from Georgia originally, moving to Texas, whatever, because the slave owners didn't want to let them go. Yeah? Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave. Oh, go home to my Lord and be free. So that obviously General Granger came down with an army to break resistance over slave owners, and so from then 1866, a year later or so, June 19th, which is why I call it Juneteenth, the free black men and women came together to form a celebration of prayer, services, reflection, joyful chants or whatever, singing, dancing, all of that, to recognize the day that obviously freedom had come. It's recognized in most of the 50 states, but it's not a federal holiday. Just look at that. And the reason probably why it's not a federal holiday is because they would have to recognize that they've done dirty. But at MLK Day, yeah, they had to by saying you give the person a day, you're saying that you acknowledge that your history is bloody, right? And so the conversation with Nicole Beharie continues with her saying, obviously, her being on set, she has to get used to obviously wearing her natural hair. One of the things I keep saying to you guys is that black women are under threat. Their skin, their physique, their lips, their nose, their hair, all political, because it represents femininity and blackness, okay? And I'm putting that in quoted comments, right? In inverted commas. And that means basically that whenever they enter into a sphere where there is a majority of white people, what happens is they tend to try and cartel and shape and change the black woman physically. And so what she's saying is that when she came on set, on this particular set, she couldn't, to the Juneteenth set, by the way, not the Sleepy Hollow, a few years after that, she felt free. She's like, oh my gosh, like it's crazy to be in a situation where I'm not thinking about that and I have to wear my natural hair. She spoke about the fact that, she was never natural until she saw Lupita on the red carpet. And again, these are understanding that when people start these things, you see, it's not easy to start and be a trendsetter. It's not easy to be the one that goes forward and plants a flag. But when that person does it, it opens the door for everybody else to come and do it. Yeah? So it always takes one brave person. You see, I'm looking at the man in the mirror. Jeez. I'm asking him to change his ways. But listen, it's like one man can make a change. You understand? You're looking for an army. No, one man, one woman can make a change. The moment Lupita went on the red carpet, in fact, Black Panther itself, when I saw the girl off her wig, I got excited. I said, whoa! Girl, you look so sexy right now with the wig off. You know what I'm saying? Like it was powerful to see that, right? And when one person does it, the rest of the people can follow. That's the whole point. Yeah? She says obviously as well that she's now wiser and stronger and that she will not be silent next time. And I think this is the whole thing. We're in a generation this year, 2020, where the generation says, I will not keep quiet. This is I believe it's the work of God, because for a generation to rise up and say we're not accepting it no more, it's not because the generation's lit. It's because the generation has something different about them, because God has allowed for it to happen. It's not by chance. It's not by power. It's not by might, but by my spirit, says the Lord. And he says, do not despise small beginnings. Understand? This is a work of the Lord that's been coming, and finally is here. I told you guys about Black Panther. It was a signal to let them know change is coming. And now the change is here. We're holding people to account and we're making stuff happen. So yeah, to Nicole, the Beharie situation, I understand it was painful to go through that, and it's exactly what we're talking about, the fact that a white male can get away with being sick, and you're sick, and yet you get discriminated against. That's the totem pole of where black women are found. They are found to be of a lesser stature when it comes to society's order, in accordance with those who run and rule with power and finances and wealth. So yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed, but it's a beautiful story because she's managed to find her feet again and go back into acting where she thought she was going to quit forever. So yeah, guys, I hope you like, you share, you subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads, baby. Appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded.